computer. All right, here we go. So thank you for coming to our very first webinar Wednesday. It's kind of a brainchild of myself and Miss Stewart because we wanted to be able to connect with home and with parents and guardians and actually anyone that's interested in the topics of reading or counseling, like social emotional learning. Today's topic is reading lists and eBooks. And it would help if I click. Okay, so there are tons of reading lists out there, but the ones I'm going to focus on today are some from the American Library Association and the Texas Library Association. Every state kind of has their own award, and even some school districts have their own, but these are the ones I'm focusing on right now. The first one I'm going to talk about is the Newbery Medal. And this is one you might even remember from when you were a child. It's been going since 1922. So this is about to hit 100 years. Wow. I have up here a picture of the winner and the honoree books from this year. This is one that they decide is for the best author, the best written word for children in America for that year. And it could be a picture book, it could be a thick chapter book that's best for 6th or 7th grade. I think it goes up to about age 12, but it is a good place to look to kind of see what are some quality books that your child could be reading right now if you're trying to figure out what's that next good read. Every single thing I'm showing you today, just know that, especially I say this to kids when I talk to them, whatever you would like to read and what you are comfortable with and what your reading level or what you want and your family wants, that's what you choose. I never tell them you must read this. So I would never say, oh, this won this award, you have to read it. No, with any list, you look at the books, you see what they're about, you see if it's good for you, and then pick it. But these are a good place to look. Another one is the Caldecott Medal. This is another one that's been around for a while. It's awarded to the best illustrator. Now, sometimes you'll find a book, it's rare, but you'll find a book on the Newbery list and on the Caldecott list at the same time. That happened a few years ago with Last Stop on Market Street. It was a picture book, and it won the Newbery and was an honor book for Caldecott. And this is for picture books. It was named after what was considered the first author of children's picture books. Another one from the American Library Association that I love to mention is the Geisel Award. These books are always really fun. The award's named after Dr. Seuss because his full name, if you did not know, fun fact, was Theodore Seuss Geisel, and he was not a doctor at all of anything, except maybe fun, I don't know. But this award is given to books that contribute to beginning readers, like books that were written to, kids that are first learning how to read themselves. The Caldecott is for the best picture, but the words might be harder. They might be up like 5th grade reading level. But this is for books that young children can read and kind of work on their reading. So these were this year's winners and honors. And all of these that I'm showing you, I like to look at these lists to get ideas to buy books for the library, to recommend to students. But again, I don't always get all of them because sometimes they're not right for our population or the age or whatever. So they are great recommendations. This is another list I like to look at, the Pura Belpré Award. This is another national list, and it has both an illustrator and an author component, and it's given to a Latino or Latina writer whose work best portrays, affirms, and celebrates the Latino cultural experience in an outstanding work of literature for children and youth. And I know I just read it directly from there, and I know you know how to read, but I think that it couldn't really be said any better that it showcases the Latina cultural experience. And some of these you'll see again, like my Poppy has a motorcycle, that's on the 2x2 list. I've read some of these. I have not read all of them, but the ones I have read are amazing. Sal and Gabby Break the Universe. I was so happy that won. It's if you're familiar with Percy Jackson, your student reads Percy Jackson, like Lightning Thief. This is the author, Rick Riordan. He has an entire series of books. It's called Rick Riordan Presents on books that are kind of like that, where they have that mystical element and they're mythology based from different cultures, and this is one of them. All right, so I'm going to move on to the Texas Library Association, and it's an offshoot of the American Library Association, and this is what you probably hear your kids talking about the most, 2x2s and Bluebonnet. So 2x2s, this is a recommended reading list. It's not exactly an award. There's no best one of the year. It's 20 books that are good for ages 2 all the way up to 2nd grade. So that's why it's called the 2x2. I honestly didn't know that for my first few years of teaching. I just went with it. It's called 2x2. But that's why sometimes you'll see like board books, and sometimes you'll see beginning chapter books. This year, they're all picture books, but at varying degrees of text difficulty. And what this is it encourages voluntary reading. So the point is to get the kids to choose books, to look at them, decide which ones are just right for them that they want to read. And this picture right here is what I've been sharing with kindergarten and 1st grade this week, and I'll share with 2nd grade next week. Those are little prizes I have. So they're all going to have this boot, and if you're in KVA, it's available through Canvas, which I'll show in a little bit. And it doesn't matter if you're face-to-face or KVA, I'll get your kiddo that prize. But if they read at least 5, they color in, like I've been reading Bear Came Along. They color in the 5, the teacher reads it, parent reads it, it doesn't matter. And then just I need a parent signature or a teacher signature works, just to, so the kid, sometimes students will just color in the whole thing, say they've read it and they didn't really. So that's just kind of that back piece there. But they get to pick a pack of erasers. So these 2 come in a pack, these 2 come in a pack, these 2 come in a pack, and these 2 come in a pack. And I have enough for everyone. So, I mean, everyone can get it. The kids are very excited. So you might hear them talk about 2x2. And when I'm done with all the reading lists, I'll talk about how you can get your hands on those books. The next one you might hear a lot about is the Bluebonnet Award. This is the winner from last year. This one is a little different than 2x2. It is still 20 books, but this time it's for grades 3 all the way up through 6. And I know we do not have 6th grade in Katy in elementary school. So all the books this year are rated as, they can be 5th grade if you look up their reviews. But this is another one where I tell the students, please look at the books, see if you want it. If you don't read it. I'm never going to say, hey, you must read all 20, because the whole point is to kind of see what works for you and what you like best. And then I haven't given this to the kids yet. I'm going to be doing this next week, but this is the map where they color in what they've read, or again, someone could read to them, but I know there are some teachers that do some of these as a read aloud, but some of them are chapter books, some of them are picture books. There's fiction, nonfiction, comics, poetry. There's something for everyone on here, which is the whole point. It's suggested. Find what works for you. And this one, what we're going to do is, if you read 5, or your student reads 5, sorry, I can't invite parents, we vote, and this is a real competition. It's a real vote. The winner is honored at the Library Association banquet in the spring. We have a conference. They get a trophy. They're spotlighted. It's a really big deal. So they will actually vote, and their votes really do count for something. It's not just us saying, hey, Fielder Elementary loves these books, which is great too, but it's actually they're participating in a voting experience. And then we like to celebrate with an ice cream party. Usually I wait to do the ice cream party until the winner's announced, because we'll watch the announcement, and that's in February. I have no idea what restrictions are going to be like then, so it might just be I bring like individual ice cream to the classroom, or if a student can't eat ice cream, I'll figure something out, but I'd like to make it a little special. So, oh, come on, go to the next one. Okay, this one's super near and dear to my heart. This is the Little Maverick reading list. I am actually the acting chair for this reading list. I've been on it for several years, and this is my last year, but it's a newer reading list. It is graphic novels, comic books that are good for elementary school, because there's a lot of comics out there. Some of them are better than others, just like any books. And so we read these books, almost all of them that are published in a year, just like all the lists. I don't know, I forgot to mention, but people on the Bluebonnet Committee and on the 2x2 Committee and on Little Mavericks Committee, and the next one I'm going to show you, we read between, my committee, we read about 150 books, and then Bluebonnet, they read 300. So we're really reading it to really go through and decide and discuss which ones are the best. Little Maverick, we don't have a cap on it, so I think the last list had 64 titles. This picture, these are the unanimous titles that all of us voted on, because they only need a vote of 6 out of 9 to get on the list, but everyone voted for these. And this is just, there's no boot for it. It's a newer list. We haven't made anything. It's just, hey, here are some quality graphic novels that you can feel good about giving your kid. But again, just like anything, look what it's about. Look at the illustrations, see if it's right for you. And the last one I'm going to talk about is the Tejas Star reading list. And the Tejas Star reading list is a bilingual reading list for ages 5 through 12. It's another recommended reading list saying, hey, these are some really good books. And sometimes they're translated from English and they're all Spanish, and sometimes they're English and Spanish. But the whole idea of it is to discover, you know, the benefits of being multicultural, being bilingual, and to have a list for the bilingual schools and bilingual parents to see what's out there. I am now ready to move on to the Katy ISD resources, because it is difficult to get your hands on books right now since there's a lot of restrictions. Just FYI, face-to-face students right now, they are getting books once a week, but once it comes back, I have to quarantine it for 6 days. So theoretically, the earliest that someone would get a book after it's been checked out, the next person is 2 weeks. That because say that I check out a book and then I get a new book next Wednesday, well, my book that I just turned in next Wednesday has to sit for another 6 days till the following Tuesday afternoon. So that's why it might be a little more difficult, but I'm going to show you how you can get to it. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is Sora. Sora is, and this is all in My Katy Cloud. So your student can go to My Katy Cloud. You can go in as an observer. Sora is also an app. So I'm going to go into it. It's going to look a little different for me because, of course, this is going to happen. It's going to look a little different for me because I am a teacher. I'm going to stop sharing just for one moment to get into my incognito. Oh, wait. Okay. Into my incognito browser. So I'm going to stop sharing because technical difficulties are fun. But everything I'm about to talk about is in the My Katy Cloud. Some of them have apps as well. Some of them do not. But all of them, like I said, are in My Katy. I know that some people are going to ask about Epic, and Epic is a fantastic resource, but it is not sponsored through Katy ISD, as in we did not purchase it per se. That is just something that we sign up as an individual teacher and as a parent, and not every single teacher does it. So that would just depend on what your teacher has set up, but it is amazing if you have not seen Epic. Miss Stewart, are there any questions in the chat box? Has anybody typed anything? I even forgot to say, if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and type in the chat box. I do know, I forgot, Andrea is on here, and Andrea is a member of the Tejas Star. So Andrea, if you wanted to say anything, I'm just going to put you on the spot.
Oh, oh, hello. Yes, I am a member. This is my second year as a member of the Texas Start Reading Committee, and basically we read all sorts of books that are either bilingual or in Spanish, like Miss Cannerman said. We receive either translations from books that were written in English or original work from Spanish authors. And we put together a list of 20 books, and they are really great. Um, some of them are bilingual, so students that are English speaking students can read those books as well and enjoy them and learn about a different culture. And the ones that are in Spanish, the kids just love to get a hold of books in their language. So it's really great.
Thank you so much. Sorry for putting you on the spot,
That's
but I
fine.
just realized
Thank
that's
you.
right. You're on there. Okay, I have figured it out. I'm going to go right back to sharing my screen. So this is a student view. I logged in as my daughter. Sora is an app as well, like I said, and I just yesterday did an order for about 284 more books, and they're all here. So you guys are the first ones to hear about them, and they're all available. So you can encourage your student to jump in and get them. But these are eBooks. And what's great about it is that even if they are out, you can read a sample for all of them. So you can see, is this a book that I want? Or your student, is this a book I want to read? This is Geronimo Stilton, a very popular series. So it gives you a little bit, but if you click on the book, it tells you what it's all about. It tells you kind of the reading level, what other books are in the series. That looks like I don't have that one right now, but you know, here's a read alikes. If you like this book, maybe you'll like these books. I also have, the reason I did such a big order is because I was getting some of the 2x2 books and the Bluebonnet books, because that can be hard to find. So for example, if I type in Rhino in right field, I wrote tight because, you know, why not? Okay, Rhino in right field. There we go. So this is Rhino in Right Field. This is a Bluebonnet book, and the reason why I'm choosing it to show you is because I want to show you some of the text features in Sora. So all the ebooks, they have everything that the actual book has, except if you look here, if you go to reading settings, you can make the words bigger. You can make them smaller. I don't know why you might want to do that, but you could. You can change the background. Maybe it's easier on your eyes to read this way. And my favorite is you can change the font, because sometimes a font makes a really big difference. This one right here, Open Dyslexic, that is a font that was made specifically for students with dyslexia. If you notice, the bottom of the letters are thicker, it's more grounded, and it makes it easier for their brains to process the reading. Now, that doesn't mean that if your student doesn't have dyslexia, they can't use this font, but that's just what research has shown. So I'm very excited that that is a choice. Or you can just kind of use custom fonts, or just go with what the publisher said. It doesn't matter. Another great thing about Sora is that you can earn achievements, and kids like to earn achievements. So I've been using this one for a while to show, this is my daughter's, that's her name. But you know how like when they play video games and they earn like, oh, I unlocked this, I unlocked this. They get a little achievement, like finish a fiction book, finish a nonfiction book, finish a mystery, read this many hours. Not sure who's going to get this one. Read 15 minutes or more after 11 p.m. on a Friday or Saturday. Not sure I'm going to tell kids to do that one, but it's just another fun little thing. When you go to your shelf, you see books that you have checked out, and this is where you can return. You can hit options. The book will automatically return in 2 weeks, but if you finish, and I encourage the students to do this as well, to please return it right away. Or if you start reading and decide you don't like it, you can just go ahead and hit return. I'm not going to, because I'm still using that book. But that way the next person can use it. And the last thing I want to show, I don't want available now because I want to show you. Okay, so see if it has a clock next to it, that means that it is checked out. And it'll tell you about how long you might have to wait. So this looks like there's only one copy and no one else is waiting. So 2 weeks would be the most you would wait. Some of the books have waiting for, well, I just bought all these, so they're not going to. But some books have a wait list. It'll say 6 months because they are being held through the district. Well, this one is 2 copies with 1 person, but this gives you kind of an idea. So I'm going to get off of Sora. And the next one I want to show you for nonfiction reading is National Geographic Kids. This, like I said, this is in the My Katie Cloud. This has videos and pictures, but it also has books. It has a lot of their Weird But True books. I don't know if you're familiar with those. It has the National Geographic magazines. I like to show kids this. This is a lot of nonfiction about animals or places. They take certain topics like Science Fair Winners, Junkyard Science. These Weird But True books, I don't know if you've seen when I did announcements, I like to pull these out. These are, students really like these. It's just fun facts, small snippets. You go to the next page. There we go. Where you can just bring it out and read one thing. If you continue to grow as fast as an average baby, you'd weigh about 413,300 pounds by age 10. So there you have it. The more you know. So that's 2 of the places that you can get books. The last one I want to show for right now is Destiny Discover. Destiny Discover is our library catalog. The first time you go on this, it's going to ask you for where are you? And be careful because there is a field elementary. You want to hit fielder. And this is how I show 2nd grade and up as to how to put books on hold. So if they ever ask you, you can help them. And this is obviously not all the books that I have. These are physical books in the Fielder Library right now. And like I said, I have to put them in quarantine. So they might be available, but in quarantine. And what I tell students to do if they're face-to-face, and KVA students starting 2nd 9 weeks will be able to do this as well. Oops. Is to search for a book that you want. If it says out, you can put it on hold, but that's not really going to help you. You have to log in with your username and password, exact same username and password as you always do. As use your My Katie, and you'll know you're logged in because it's going to be blue with a starry background. And now you'll see the option to hold. So I tell you, you can go down here and look at topics. You could write in a book. Dogman is always out. I'm super surprised this one is in. But you find a book that's in. If you want to know what it's about, you can click on it. It turns it over. You hit more details. This will tell you what the book is about. You can rate it. You can give it a smiley face. You can put it in your favorites. And then if you decide you want it, you hit hold right here. Let's see, I'm gonna go, oh, okay. So then it says it's available, please pick up. The one thing is though, you can't unhold it. So we have to make sure that we really want it before you hit hold. And then I get a report that says, for example, Lillian has Dogman on hold, and I bring it to her. It's like Uber Books. I just bring it right to them. And every grade level has a certain day. So on that day, I go ahead and I switch them out. Kinder's on Monday, 1st grade's Tuesday. Today is 2nd grade, 3rd grade's Thursday, and then 4th and 5th are on Fridays. Until we are allowed to have library volunteers again, it's going to stay that way because that's how we can work it into our schedule to get it to kids. All of this that I'm showing you, I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment. All of this that I'm showing you, the information is on, I'm just gonna show you one more thing. It's on the library Canvas page. So let me go ahead and share that screen. The library Canvas page is linked to the all different grade levels. So on their Canvas page, there should be a link to the library Canvas page. So this is what it looks like. It's a work in progress. It's just me working on it, so it takes a while. But everything I just showed you is right here. For example, the 2x2. The paper's right here if you need to print it out, the link to the website. Oh, and there's the little prizes. That's what they're all excited about. They can win those little prizes. And then also, like I said, everything I've talked about, Sora's here, library catalog, how to put a book on hold, different online resources. The databases, I'm working slowly to make videos on all of them. I did one on Tumblebooks. Here's one about Pebble Go. I'm working on doing these as fast as I can. So just keep checking back. And Pumpkin Extravaganza is coming up. So if you go to and more, you will see right here, book character pumpkin patch. This is where we're going to put all the pictures of the pumpkins. I'm going to go ahead, I'll put a link to the Canvas in the chat. Anyone can go to it. It'll just ask you to log in because it is through Canvas, but your student can log in or your hack login will work as well. And finally, just throw it out there, birthday book club. We did start that back up again, and this is where the birthday book club information is, where you can fill that out. All right, I'm going to stop the recording and we can move into if anyone has any questions, as well as Ms. Stewart has a little bit to present as well. So let me go ahead and hit